fire raged around them. Paul Boissonneault is with the Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs and Oakville's fire chief. He joins us now. Paul, good morning.
Good morning, David. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you. So these 19 construction workers had been there in the community for a different job, got hauled into helping build fire breaks, but then got caught in the fire. What does it tell us just about the danger of even those who are called in to help?
Yeah, I mean, the video is pretty phenomenal when you think about they're talking about within 40 minutes of them going out to build the fire breaks around their specific area, how it basically encompassed their entire area, and they had to seek refuge inside the shipping container and didn't know if they were going to make it. I mean, it just speaks to the sheer size and magnitude of these wildfires and how quickly they can be on top of you. And so this is a crew that is brought in to assist and build fire breaks. Imagine those who are dealing with devastation within communities. When they're told about evacuation orders, it just talks about how quickly people need to act, to have a 72-hour preparedness kit and make sure that they get out of harm's way when they're told. And advance warning is so critical in these situations.
And for these workers who, I mean, some of the community already begun to evacuate, they're there. You hear in that clip the heavy breathing, the smoke that's around them. And that's what prevented helicopters from coming to their rescue earlier, that the helicopters actually couldn't land, couldn't even see where the ground was. When does it become too late to activate an evacuation in a place like that where it's a fly-in only community?
Well, you know, every situation is different. And the reason I say that is because differing wind conditions, the pattern associated with weather, it really does play a part. I mean, wildfires themselves generate their own weather in the sense that they create wind. So, these contractors were brought in for a specific task and were doing what they were supposed to do. The early advanced warning for any communities, that's when the residents and communities really have to take heed and warning from both the authority having jurisdiction, local fire departments where applicable, or the wildland fire agencies provincially, or when there's coordination from the federal level. We know that the Canadian military is brought into Sandy Lake to assist with evacuation, and that's where that combined local jurisdiction, provincial and federal piece is so critical, and what we've been advocating for some time is the National Fire Administration.
Yeah, and let's talk more about that. You and I have talked about this a lot, and you're trying to keep the drumbeat alive because I know you feel that the National Fire Administration is overdue in this country. Explain to us one more time why it is that would help, given the increasing wildfire activity, but also why we don't have it yet.
I can't speak to why we don't have it yet, other than the fact that there may be this misunderstanding of the complexity associated with the coordination of resources and the boots on the ground situation. However, this is talking about the importance of coordinating information, policy, and expertise so that we can make the right decisions at the right time and place with the right resources. And we've learned from situations such as Jasper that there is multiple situations where there needs to be a role clarity, and that's where the National Fire Administration would be so instrumental. We are the only G7 country that does not have a National Fire Administration, and we're talking about, a culmination this year alone of over 3.1 million hectares of area burned and over, at this point, 1,853 year-to-date wildfires. Those are staggering numbers. We have countries that are in the G7 that have national fire administrations that don't deal with anything near these kind of magnitudes. So we are long overdue, and you did hit the nail on the head, David. We are going to continue to advocate because, as the Prime Minister said, that he's prepared to mobilize every resource needed to keep Canadians safe. And that was his statement regarding the military coming into Sandy Lake. We would suggest that the resource needed is the National Fire Administration to ensure that we have those coordination of resources to ensure safety for Canadians.
One curiosity I have just on the coordination front. So if I look at a community like Sandy Lake right now, you have military aircraft going in and out, and those military aircraft could be anything from the big Hercules planes that can carry 100 people out at once to the smaller helicopters. You have this rush of getting aircraft in, the challenge of getting them in with all the smoke, but also coordinating them with the firefighting aircraft that are going in as well. How do you deconflict all of that?
Much of that is done through the operations center. So you have unified command structures where you have local jurisdiction, provincial entities such as wildfire agencies, and federal coordination, so that you ensure that it is a well-coordinated event. And we're talking about this situation specific to evacuees. You were 100% correct. It has to be well coordinated to ensure that the firefighting tactics operation and that the evacuation piece are in lockstep. Obviously, you're not going to want to be flying evacuees and or planes to rescue evacuees amongst the same airspace, obviously, as those helicopters that are trying to fight the fire. It's got to be well coordinated. And that's where we suggest that a National Fire Administration assists those local boots on the ground entities, getting them the right resources. We have the star players. We just simply need to be able to utilize our turnkey proposal and get this done. We've talked about this now for 3 years. These wildfires are predictable. We have sounded the alarm, as you've indicated, but the time is now. We can't keep looking at wildfires, and this isn't just about wildfires, but obviously wildfires are wreaking havoc across our country right now, and we need something to address it.
Paul Boissonneault, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for having me, David.
That's Paul Boissonneault, who's a board member with the Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs and Oakville's fire chief. Heading to